So, for today's reading, we are going to be looking into what is coming in the near future for you. What's going to be happening in the near future for you. And for me, near future means like within the next couple weeks, within the next month, not like 6 months, 8 months, a year. That's not near to me. Sorry. But yeah, we're talking like immediately in the immediate future. What's going to be coming in for you. And if you guys were not here for yesterday's reading, my front facing camera is no longer working, which actually the worst part is not my YouTube channel. The worst part is door dashing, because during door dashing it uses the camera to take a picture of the item on the porch, which means I have to leave DoorDash. I have to go take a picture of the camera with my front facing camera, which is really difficult to do sometimes. Then I have to go back into DoorDash, and then I have to select take it from the gallery and grab it from there and all that kind of crap. So anyway, this is how we're doing the readings for the moment. And today we have 3 piles for you. Pile 1, 2, 3. Take a moment to get in touch with your intuition and your higher self and pick the pile that you feel most drawn to. And if you guys enjoy this reading, remember that there are multiple ways that you can support my channel. Some of them monetary, some of them only take a second of your time. Liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, hitting the little super chat button, leaving super chat stickers, buying gifts from my Amazon wish list. So many different ways that you can do that. Donations, tips, purchases, everything like that. And so thankful to each and every one of you who does those things. Anyone who supports my channel in any way, or my other channel as well. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out far more than you guys know. So, let's see what's coming in the near future. We have pile 1 here, and we're going to look into this. So, pile 1. Hi, Missouri Mystic. Good to see you too. Scorpio, passionate. Aquarius, Scorpio, Aquarius. Wow, double Scorpio and double Aquarius energy here. There's going to definitely be some hidden things coming to the surface. Things that in the past you might have been a little bit judgmental about, you're going to be dropping some judgments on. And that's what's going to be helping these things to come out, because you're deciding that these things may not be as bad as you thought they would be and that kind of thing. And so it's allowing these things to be revealed. Dropping that judgment is. There's definitely going to be a lot of outside the box energy coming in, new energy. It's going to require some open-mindedness. Hidden things are going to be being brought to the surface. For some of you, there's something that was hidden about your father that's going to be coming out as well. Uber. ULHMWGN. That was actually U the whole time and not an M. RUGPKFUPS. The movie Up. Run. Fun. Pun. Punk. So, let's see. When I saw gun and then punk, the first thing that came to mind was Dangerous Minds. You can actually watch the movie now on YouTube free, which is awesome because I haven't got to see that movie in like 12 years until the other night. It's one of my more favorite movies. And that song, Gangster's Paradise, is actually from that movie. On my knees in the night saying prayers in the street light. I know all the words to that song by heart, and they're like slipping my mind. There could be some things in the next week or two that are going to be slipping your mind Things that you're like, I know this, but it's going to be really hard for you to put your finger on it. Hulk, Hawk. The next Avengers just came to mind. Lupa, Duo Lupa, or Lipa, is it? I don't know. I don't know. Hula Hoop, Pug. I keep going back to that gun there. Never cross a man that didn't deserve it. He be treated like a punk, you know, that's unheard of. You better watch where you're talking or how you're walking, or you and your homies might be lined in chalk. I really hate to trip, but God, nope. As I cope with myself in the pistol smoke. Oh, I'm the little homie all the G's want to be like, on the knees in my night saying prayers in the street light. Keep spending most our life living in the gangster's paradise. Keep spending most our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the hood team, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got that tan in my hand and that gleam in my eye. So don't arouse my anger, fool. Death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. So, there could definitely be something that ends up happening around you or in your community that has something to do with that over the next couple weeks. Some sort of like gang war type of thing. Hun, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? Deep sea, or deep dark sea mermaid. Find solutions in the unknown places, in the darkness. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius, practice gratitude. So, there's definitely some hidden secrets that are going to be coming out, things that have been buried in the dark for a long time. There's going to be solutions that you're going to be able to find to whatever disturbances are going on at this time, or fights, or wars, or arguments. So try not to let pride get in the way of that. That's driving me crazy. Practice gratitude. Last quarter moon in Sagittarius. So the spotlight's going to be on you in some way. People are going to be watching. People are going to be noticing what you're doing, how you're acting, where you might be going, things like that. And you're being called at this time to remember that. And to remember that there are a lot of people that are inspired by you, that are learning from you, that are growing as they interact with you in some way. And so there's a necessity and a need here for you to practice gratitude and to remember to stay out of that attitude of lack and to be in that attitude of gratitude instead. And you'll be amazed with the shift that happens as you shift more and more into this attitude of gratitude. We have the Four of Wands, the Nine of Cups, something about things that you've been wishing for a long time are going to be coming in. Knight of Cups, Two of Scythes, and the Seven of Challenges. There's going to be a lot of options for you moving forward. You're going to be breaking through a lot of illusions as well. You're going to be making the decision to break through a lot of these illusions. You may even be making the decision to go after some sort of option as well. I love this version of Spike too, because that shows his full light side, untainted by the darkness. And at the same time, that darkness is in him. And all it took was so many rejections before that darkness took over. Don't let the darkness take over if you're feeling rejected as well. For some of you, there's something here to do about things that you've written. Maybe at some point in the past, you've written something and you shared it with somebody that really made you feel like it was garbage in some way. Maybe it was ahead of its time. Maybe it was something to do with toxic masculinity. Or maybe you dreamed about like people laughing about it or things like that. Maybe you've had a really hard time with public speaking in some way or being seen in some way for who you are and what gifts you have inside of you. But you're going to be feeling really good about yourself and really good about what you have to offer the world. You've worked really hard to build a solid, stable, strong foundation underneath yourself, a solid foundation for your passions, for your creativity, for your projects. And I feel like a lot of you are going to be celebrating success in some way. And you're also going to be realizing that some of those things you were feeling were just illusions. I feel like a lot of you are going to be learning and growing and leveling up emotionally over the next couple weeks. You're going to be diving in deeper to who you are, and what you want. And you're going to be sorting through all the emotions involved in that. So that's pretty much what I have for pile 1, you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to anybody and everybody who gives back by supporting the channel, whether that be through liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, hitting the little super thanks button, whatever it may be that you do to help out with this channel. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys. So pile 2, let's see for you guys what new energy is going to be coming in the next couple weeks. And if you guys weren't here for the beginning message, my front-facing camera is no longer working, so we are using the one that faces this direction. So we're going to be going back and forth between this and the cards. Aw, thank you, Tori. I appreciate that. She says it's a gift to be able to see my beautiful face. So, I am not loving the whole camera being broken thing, but we're dealing with it. Stop. There could be something that you're being warned to stop over the next couple weeks. You might be like extra noticing every stop sign that comes up, or you might be seeing stop signs in places they shouldn't even be, like say on the side of a building there's just this giant stop sign painted on it or something like that. So there could definitely be something in your life that Spirit is trying to get your attention on, that you are being asked to let go of in some way. Unconditional love, including pride. Pride could definitely be something that might be getting in the way in some way. By the way, whoever chose pile 2 may want to check out pile 3 as well, because I only grabbed one of these cards for every pile. Full moon in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. But the Be Real card, full moon in Aquarius, and the Be Humble card, which is in pile 3, both fell out. And then they both fell out in pile 3 as well. Well, sorry, they didn't fall out in pile 3. One of them came out for the pile, and then the other one was on the bottom of the deck. So some of you could have definitely chosen pile 3 as well. In between messages, thank you guys for the support as well. Whatever you may do to support my work. Breathe through the tension. I feel like a lot of you are going to be getting a chance to face your anxiety again. Getting a chance to use the newfound skills that you have worked up to deal with situations. Cancer, imaginative. Leo. Gemini. You guys' communication skills are really going to be being put to the test, as well as things that you've learned. Things that you have learned are really going to be being put to the test. There may be a gift coming your way as well, something that's handmade. For some of you, this could be from a child of yours. For some of you, it could be from a sibling. Some of you could just be remembering a gift or coming across a gift that maybe somebody had given you in the past. Maybe you thought something was gone and you end up running into it. P, C, computer. Some of you could have thought that you lost a computer, but this computer comes back to you. Or maybe even some computer files. Public Broadcasting Network, PBS could be important. So PCBST, SOD, Stoddard, N, pond. Across the big pond just came to mind. So there could be something going on with getting to travel across the world in some way, or across an ocean, or maybe somebody ends up traveling to you across an ocean. Sod, bod, nod, Todd, top, cop, cob, cod, con, son, cousin, Lilo and Stitch just came to mind. And then Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. You're nurturing, the love you pour out is something that's going to be very noticed over the next couple weeks, and it may even be returned to you in some sort of way. You may be having others that want to step up and care for you in some way. There may be somebody around you as well that wants to be seen or recognized for the care that they've brought in you. There could be a lot of talk that's going on that's going to end up reaching you over the next couple weeks as well. The gift of sacred sight. You could be finding out or realizing just how gifted your other family members are, whether that be siblings or children. You may be really realizing just how gifted they are. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, you're the chosen one in your family, and nobody else is breaking any cycles in your family. Every fucking one of your siblings is breaking their own damn cycles in your family. Yeah, they might hold on to some, but you probably end up holding on to some too. Those are the ones that your own children end up breaking, the ones that you hold on to. Everybody's working to break some sort of cycles or to free themselves in some way from certain things throughout their life. Some of them succeed, some of them don't. But there's definitely a lot of hidden things that are going to be coming out over the next couple weeks. And there may actually be a lot of things that are popping up that confirm your sight as well. I hate when people say shit like that because it's funny, you know. My siblings are not the people that they were when they were teenagers. Is anybody's siblings the people they were when they were teenagers? Is anybody's parents the people they were when they were teenagers? No, because they've changed. They've worked through certain things. They've leveled up in certain ways. Every one of us is doing that. Not just you. Not just me. Everyone is doing that. Just like the whole chosen one thing. Everyone is chosen. Everyone's chosen for something. My older sisters were not necessarily the best people on the fucking planet when they were teenagers. But they also were the people who remembered where they came from. They remembered the life that they left behind. They remembered that those people that were living in their neighborhood when they were younger were people just like them, 911. When there was an emergency, they answered the call. And they went back and they helped the people that were in the place that they came from. They certainly weren't in that place anymore, 33. But they were at one time. And they knew who those people were from their experience there, 933. Seven of Pentacles. Two of Swords. Four of Cups. Strength. And the Five of Stakes. So, some of you could also be dealing with anger issues in the near future. Issues that maybe you thought were buried or put to rest. There could be somebody trying to trigger you in some way. There could be some sort of situation that pisses you off, that makes you feel like you need to take aggressive action now. You're being asked to remove yourself from that situation a little bit, to ground yourself, to find your peace before taking action, before making a decision, to trust in this energy of patience that you've cultivated over the time. You've worked very hard to cultivate this peace, to cultivate this patience, to cultivate this energy of stillness. And yes, life does require action. Sometimes you need to breathe first. So there's going to be this need to breathe before you take action in some way. Some of you left behind a lot of different things or a lot of different people. There might have been some sort of situations that were going on, or there may be in the near future some sort of situations that are going on that are overwhelming. And you might be called to take a break, to take your energy away, to go somewhere alone, and to just be able to live without having to worry about any of that crap. Some of you may be moving to a new location as well, and some of you could be going back to an old location after moving to a new location. It's going to take strength and courage. Do what you're being called to do. Cups by Anna Kendrick is coming to mind. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. When I'm gone. When I'm gone. You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Remember that if you are pulling away from situations, it's not so people miss you. That's ego. It's to take care of you and love you. It's to put in that time, effort, and energy to you. Some of you could definitely be the caretakers, the nurturers, the lovers of everyone, responsible for everything. And you may be feeling like that's never going to pay off in any way, but there is definitely a lot of fruit that you have grown that is going to be very beautiful and very abundant for everything that you've done. I feel like there's going to be a very big harvest coming in the near future. And a lot of you, this is because you might have just disappeared randomly and not really told anybody where you were going or what you were doing. You may have just kind of shut everything off and shut the world off and moved away from everything for a minute. And when you get ready to come back, reset things, there may be a lot of people that are like, I am so glad that you're still here. I thought that you were gone for good. I didn't know that I was going to miss you that much, or whatever the case may be. You might actually be finding out just how much a lot of people care for you or care about you. So that's what I have for pile 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to hear what you guys thought about it, whether or not it resonates, what you might be going through, all that kind of good stuff. And thank you so much to anybody and everybody. SOS. You might be getting actually an emergency call from somebody as well. Rob. So that is what I got for you guys. Thank you guys for the support you send this way, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, using the little super thanks or super chat sticker buttons, leaving me gifts on Amazon, all that kind of stuff. Really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for everything that you do to support me or my work. And let's get started with pile 3. 33 again. By the way, some of you who chose pile 3 may be interested in going back and watching pile 2 as well. The Be Real and Be Humble card both tried to come out for pile 2. And for pile 2, if you chose pile 3 and you're going back to watch that, there's a lot of things that are going to be coming out in the near future, and it may cause some anxiety or anger to come up. But you have learned over the past couple years how to deal with those things, so you're going to deal with them very well. Anyway, let's see what may be coming in the near future for pile 3. We got Capricorn, Libra, Charming, Pisces, something to do with your family, an ex, children, siblings, Gemini, Scorpio, things that have been hidden, sex, death, taxes, coldness, cold emotions, coldness. Why somebody was so cold may be coming out. You might actually learn why somebody was so cold or what's been going on in the dark. Justice is going to be coming in a situation as well. Fairness and balance, the scales are going to be balanced in a situation. Your intuition is going to be heightening. You're going to be developing your intuition more, and it's going to be gaining some strength. 44. You're going to be celebrating success in some ways. The success of a strong, solid foundation, stability, strength, passion, inspiration, creativity. You may be being newly inspired in some way. Q, C, T, cutie pie. L, A, land, lamp. M, P, lamp. Like the magic lamp and the genie and wishes. For some of you, there might actually be some of your wishes that you've been wishing for a long time that are getting ready to come true. There could be something about a fire as well. S, because it's reminding me, my ex actually, when he was younger, his parents used to get extremely angry at pretty much anything they did. Pretty much anything. That's the way things used to work. Pretty much every parent was like that back in the day. Anything a child did, they were extremely angry. It went from 0 to 100 like that, period. Because children were supposed to be seen and not heard. And they were supposed to listen to every single thing you said. And if they didn't listen to every single thing you said, they were not disciplined good enough. And so they'd beat the fucking shit out of them. And that's the way they used to handle things. Like literally, every single parent used to handle things that way. Shania King. Anyway. Motherfuckers. That was a P, but I seen MFS. Military police. Could be something to do. Oh, anyway. So my ex, when that happened, where one day he was down in the basement with his brother, V's SDJK. When he was down in the basement with his younger brother, and they were playing with the lamp. I don't remember exactly what they were doing, but they were playing with the lamp, and the lamp was on. And so his parents are calling him for dinner. And he's trying to hurry up because he's trying to get there quick because they're calling him and he needs to get there right now. And he's just little. He's like 5, 4, something like that. And so they're calling him for dinner. And he's trying to get everything situated so that he could get up there. And they're not supposed to leave that lamp on. They're supposed to make sure all the lights are off if they leave a room. And he's trying to get this lamp off, or trying to get it turned off, but they had unscrewed the little handle. You know how the old ones, they got that screw-on handle, and so they had unscrewed it and taken it off. And so now he's trying to get it back on, but it won't go on. And it won't go on. And in the process, his parents are getting pissed off because he's not getting his ass up there to eat. 44. And so he can't get that fucking thing on. And he's like, well, I can't leave the lamp on because I'm going to get in trouble for leaving the lamp on. There's also another letter sitting here, V. And so he ends up because once again, he's only like 4 or 5. He ends up throwing this blanket over the top of this lamp. Because, well, now they won't see the light. So they won't get pissed off because the light's not on anymore, right? Well, he ended up starting a fire. I don't know if he ever actually told his parents about that. Probably not. But there might actually be something like that that's going to be coming out. Or something like that that's going to be being exposed. Or somebody may actually come clean about something that they did when they were younger. Maybe it was even something that was blamed on a sibling as well. A lot of times, older siblings have a tendency to throw the younger sibling under the bus when you grow up in households like that. Because everybody wants to avoid getting beat. So they lie, and they lie, and they lie, and they lie. And nobody understands that either. There are so many people that are like, well, children have to be disciplined. Well, you're a fucking idiot. If you look at any of the research, any of it, it proves that beating children will never, ever, ever, ever be the answer. And it will never produce any results that are good, even when it's a light beating. It will not. The best way to create respectful children who love people and treat people good is to be respectful, love people, and treat people good, not to try to control them through fear and intimidation. All that produces is pathological liars. And I'm sorry, but that's what it produces. So, land. There could definitely be something like that coming out. Stamp. Damp. Junk. Luck. Scat. Scat cat. Everybody wants to be a cat because the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at. Picking up on that feline beat because everything else is obsolete. A square with a horn makes you wish you weren't born every time he plays a rinky-tinky-tinky. Valet, stat. There could be something with music here as well. Vamp, camp, sand, Stan Lee came out right after that, but also Stan from Eminem's song. Remember to pay attention to try not to give in to that feeling inside of you that tells you that no one loves you or no one cares and things like that. Because some of you may really want to pay attention over the next couple weeks. There may be somebody around you that's feeling very depressed and they may be going through a lot. And you may be feeling like they are betraying you in some way, or like they weren't really your friend in some way, or they don't really love you in some way. Instead of going into your insecurities, your fears, your anxieties, your self-thoughts, don't project that onto the situation. Really look deeper at the situation, dive deeper into it. And you might realize that this person is going through things of their own, and not everything is always about us. A lot of times it's more often about themselves than us when people are acting in certain ways. Latte, malt. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. Hedgehog love, positive, uplifting, new friends. First quarter moon in Leo, be humble. So yeah, there's this need to kind of drop down, to kind of, know that you're just like everybody else. Know that sometimes you have your own projections. Sometimes you have your own emotions that can get in the way. Sometimes you have your own feelings that are blocking your view or causing distortions in the way that you're seeing things. And also, sometimes other people don't have quite the options that you have. So there might be the need to really put yourself in other people's shoes at this time. The Nine of Wands, you've been through a lot. And even though you've been through a lot, you've really been able to keep that hope alive, that faith burning inside. And now might be the time to be a light for others when they're in that darkness. There may have been a lot of points and times in your darkness, if you really look back at it, where there was a bright light that guided you back home to you. And now you might be being called to be that bright light for others. That is one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to do what I'm doing. When I was 14 years old, I decided that I wanted to be a therapist for abuse survivors. And notice I didn't say for women and children that were abused. There's plenty of men out there that have been abused too. Monsters don't become monsters out of nowhere. They become monsters from somewhere. Generally, they're taught by a monster. And there's plenty of women and plenty of children who become monsters too. Everybody's like, oh, children are so innocent. Children are so pure. Children never are evil in any way. There's plenty of evil children out there. Just like there's evil women out there. Just like there's evil men out there. Everyone has a shadow side though. Every single fucking person on this planet, you, me, everyone has a shadow side. And when you were in your shadow side, when you were in darkness, when you were in despair, when you were in pain, when you were in hurt, there was lights around you. You may not have seen them at the time, but if you look back at it, in your darkness, there were lights. Those lights guided you home to yourself. Because that's why I chose what I wanted to be. And it morphed into what I'm doing now over the years, especially since, I've studied psychology for 20 years, school or no school. Studied spirituality for the last 7 or 8 years. Studied tarot reading for about that length of time. And I've been interested in both of those things my entire life. I was also wanting to be a vet when I was younger, and guess what? I have definitely been a homeopathic vet this year too, for all my animals, because I can afford to take them to a vet. But they're still healing from the things that people thought they were going to die from, or the internet will tell you they're going to die from. So anyway, looking back on my life, there was those lights. There was certain people that came in that provided some sort of roadmap, that provided some sort of beauty, that brought back that hope and brought it to life again. So if you turn away from everybody who's in darkness, who's in pain, who's down, who's hurting in your life, that doesn't make you that makes you just as bad as any of those people that turned a cheek when you were in pain, who decided, oh, I don't want to be a part of that, and looked the other way and went the other direction. But those people who stopped and gave you that time of day, those people who sat down on that park bench next to you and was like, hey, you doing okay today? Just to let you know that you were alive, that you existed, that they saw you, that you weren't alone. Is that who you want to be? Or do you want to be the people that walked past and went, ugh, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want that to drop my vibes. Which one do you want to be? Because that second one's not who I want to be. And I am pretty sure anybody here watching my readings, that first one's who you want to be. So, we have the Tower, we have the Star, we have the Empress, exactly, and we have the Ace of Cups. What would a good mother do? What would a good mother do? Would a good mother walk away from her children in the midst of their hardest day of their life? Or would she stand by them even if she wasn't interfering while they were making the decisions they needed to make it through it? While they were learning, while they were growing, would she leave them to fend for themselves, or would she be there to help them, nurture them, care for them, teach them, lead them? Your self-love that you've cultivated over the last couple years, especially, has given you the ability to put aside your own hurt, to put aside your own insecurities, your own anxieties, your own anger, to put that shit aside. And that doesn't mean you need to be a doormat, but what it does mean is you're able to put that shit aside, and you're able to put that shit aside for a reason. You're able to stand strong and confident when everything's falling apart. You're able to stand strong and confident when you receive a negative call, or when you receive bad news, or when you're dealing with someone who's going through a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of sadness. You're able to be there, to be that guiding light, and to provide that hope and that joy for others. I feel like you might actually even receive a call that shocks you over the next couple weeks. Some sort of information is going to come out. How inspiring you've been for certain people in your life might be a couple weeks. How your words have impacted people. The funny thing is, we had vamp in the letters, and this mother here is a vampire. What's really funny is I have another deck where vampire is signified by emotional intelligence. Your emotional intelligence can be used in good ways or bad ways. Sometimes people choose to use it in bad ways, and sometimes people choose to use it in good ways. Skeletons are getting ready to come out of the closet. Skeletons that may shock you, confuse you, that may cause some sort of pain as well. Some things may be coming out that might actually cause you to question who you are or what path you've chosen. And these little dolls tied up are reminding me of a story from when I was younger. My older sisters used to play this game with me. And they would tie me up to this chair, right? And then I would get out of it. It was a great game for them because, you know, they'd tie me up and I was busy for the next 5-10 minutes untying myself until all of a sudden I'm getting out in like 20-30 seconds and they're having to retie me every 20-30 seconds. And this was even with my brother-in-law who, you know, like he ended up being a military man. He ended up, you know, doing a lot of hunting, a lot of things like that, fishing. So he knew all kinds of good knots. Even with him doing it, 20-30 seconds, out. Although, you know, if I ever would have been kidnapped, I would have been able to get out fairly easily. And what's funny about that is actually that there was one day me and my older sister were walking down the street and there was this car that was creeping up on us, and it was like driving up on us, like really slow, following us, literally. There is no other way to put that. That's what was happening. And we were living in a pretty small town. It's not like, you know, we were living in a big city or anything. Although we were living in the bad neighborhood of that small town. But my older sister grabbed my hand really tight and she's like, hold on. And she took off running, and literally, she was like 14, 15 years old, which means I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was about 5 years old, so she was 14. She might have been 15, might have been 6, somewhere around there. But anyway, she grabbed my hand and she took off running. And when she took off running, I was literally flying behind her. My feet did not touch that ground. I was like a foot or two off the ground. And she was running, carrying me by my hand. Who knows what could have happened that day if she didn't take that chance, you know? Or if she decided, you know what, I'm going to save myself, and took off running without me. So remember that before you leave others behind. Remember that. Remember the love that you have for them. Remember how you would feel if all of a sudden you turn around and they weren't there anymore because they couldn't keep up. Because you decided to leave without them. 4224. And remember that when you became this mother, or when you became this figure in people's lives who inspired them, this leader, that's when you became responsible for everyone that was following you. That's when you became that captain of the ship. And you know, the captain of the ship always goes down with the ship. At least a good captain does. Unless every single person has made it off that ship, he does not leave. So there's going to be some situations over the next couple weeks that are going to test just what kind of leader you are. Remember to be humble in your leadership, and remember that everyone else is just as important as you are. Every person on this planet is just as important as we are. Just as important as I am. So that is what I have for this pile. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I would absolutely love to hear what you guys had to say about it, whether or not it resonated, what you might be going through, all those kind of good things. And if you guys did enjoy this, remember to support the channel in the ways that you can. You can like, share, comment, subscribe, leave timestamps, donations, hit that little super thanks button, leave a super chat sticker. There's my Amazon wish list. You can support my other channels with liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Everything that you guys do to support me or my work really helps me out so much, you guys. Thank you so much for that. And I really hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.